everybody, my name's Edna Sue and today I'm going to be making a recipe that's my own concoction of some good ingredients. I'm going to be making a salmon stew with pasta. It's not a recipe, it's something I just put together myself. And the cold months of the year are coming in, and there's nothing any better than a good stew on a rainy night, or if you have kind of like a cold or something. It's real comfort food. A lot of people don't care for salmon much, but my family loves it. Everybody in my family loves it, except Jerry, of course. But he tolerates this. Today I'm going to try to measure everything so you can have an idea of how much ingredients that I put into this recipe. I usually just cut up potatoes and cut up onions and then cover them in my boiler with water, and that way I know they cook and everything. But what I've done today is I peeled about 8 Irish potatoes ahead of time, and I filled my boiler up with 12 cups of water, and it's already starting to slightly boil. So I'm going to take, this is 4 cups, a little bit over 4 cups of diced Irish potatoes. So I'm going to take that and empty all of the potatoes into the boiling water. And also diced 2 cups of onion, kind of fine, not real fine, but chopped up pretty good. So I'm going to empty that into the boiling water. And then we'll leave these ingredients in this water and they'll cook until they get good and tender, which probably will take about maybe 15-20 minutes at the most. Like I said, I don't usually time or measure this stuff because I just put it in the boiler and cook it and watch it, but I did measure everything today so you'd have an idea. Alright, right, so far we have 12 cups of boiling water, a little over 4 cups of diced, peeled, and good and washed Irish potatoes, 2 cups of chopped onions. And I've got all this mixed, and it's going to stay in this boiler until it gets good and tender. And we'll come back, and after they get good and tender, we'll come back and I'll show you what we'll do to it after that. Okay, while the potatoes and onions continue to cook, I'm going to take 2 cans of double Q pink salmon, and a lot of people would just kind of dump it out in a pan or a boiler or something and use all of it, but not me. I like to bone it and take all that black skin off. But before I start that, I'm going to take the juice that comes in that the meat is packed in, and I'm going to pour it into the potatoes and onions. That gives it a little bit more flavor too. And then I'll empty it out here. To me, this is the best salmon that you can get. I like that brand. It's real, it's got a pleasant taste. It's not quite as fishy tasting as a lot of salmon is. So I'm going to dump this into my pan. And if you see, it's got black skin, and it's got also little gristly bones in it. So a lot of people like to eat this, but not me. Nope. That ain't happening. Alright, you take the good meat and you just put it in a separate bowl. Make sure it don't have this black skin on it. That's kind of not appealing to me to get that. And I use my hands to do that. It wouldn't hurt you to eat it, but it just don't look good to me. Alright, if you take the salmon and you crack it open, you're going to see a little bit, it looks like vertebrae to me. Get rid of these things. You don't want that in your stew. Nope. And here's more black stuff. I've heard some cooks on Facebook talking about cooking with salmon, and they said that they love to put the bone in the skin in theirs. It's more protein, but I'm a little picky on that. So there's more good pieces of meat that don't have anything, but you have to just check. It's got a lot of those little gristly things in it. This is really good to eat on a cold winter night. And it's really simple to make, and it's not real costly either. Salmon is one of the cheaper meats that you can buy. And it goes a long way. It will feed a family. I've doubled my recipe tonight because I'm going to have some friends over. They're going to be eating some of this. So if you want to use this recipe and make one of your own, you can cut it in half the amounts that I've used. I put 12 cups of water, a little over 4 cups of potatoes chopped, 2 cups of chopped onions. When you open the salmon up, and I use 2 cans, empty the juice that's in the can into the potato and onion mixture, and then start boning and skinning your salmon. I was cooking this one day, and Jerry had been outside cutting grass. He came inside to get a drink of water, and when he walked in the house, got a whiff of it smells your house up. He got a whiff of what I was cooking. He said, "You got half a dozen cats hanging around the front door." See, most of this meat is without the skin and without the bones, so once you get the spot that they're in, you don't have any problem. Okay, once I get out all of this finished, I'm going to empty it into the potato mixture after they start to tender. So we'll just let it sit in this little bowl right here until the potatoes and onions cook a little bit longer. See you in a little bit. Okay, the potatoes and onions are done, and so we're going to finish up the salmon stew. The next ingredient added will be the skinned and the bone salmon meat. So I'm going to empty that into here. That was 2 cans of double Q salmon. I took the black skin off and deboned it. Okay, mix that up a little bit. And it sure does smell good. Okay, now I'm going to use some black pepper and just... I got the one that hadn't opened, so I'm going to just use the one I use every morning. It doesn't take a lot of that, so just kind of top the salmons and the potatoes and onions with a little bit of black pepper, and then add some salt. Just douse it around in there. And start adding my milk. I've got 3 cans open, and like I told you, I'm just guessing at the measurements of this. mixes good with the 12 cups of water and the 3 cans of pet milk, evaporated milk. Okay, I'll stir this up, and it sure does look good. Smells good too. Okay, that's mixed up pretty much. And I'm going to add 1 stick of Land O'Lakes salted butter. Once you get the potatoes and onions tender and done, it doesn't take long to finish up salmon stew. All you got to do is have your milk and your butter, salt and pepper. And then I experimented, I guess about 6 months ago. I thought, I love pasta. And I had some of that rotini, squiggly looking pasta noodles. So I tried it, and I will never cook another salmon stew again without it. It made a big difference. So that's I think that's a 2 pound. No, this is a 1 pound box, 16 ounces. And so all these ingredients have been mixed up. So I'm going to add, we'll start with about half of this. About half of the box. Just mix it up in there. And it'll take probably about another 10-15 minutes before you can see the pasta getting done and tendering up, swelling up, and it is so delicious. So you're going to have potatoes, onions, pasta, butter, milk, and delicious salmon. And this is one of the best recipes that you could fix on a cold, rainy night for your family. I've got some family and friends coming tonight, so I know they're going to enjoy it too. Okay, you can see how delicious this looks. The pasta noodles are not anywhere close to being finished yet, but they're in there, and I really wasn't sure how much of those I needed for this big amount of stew, so I may add a little bit more. I don't want to get too many because you want to have a good bit of milky liquid in there. But I took about half of the box. I might add just a little bit more. There's not too much left in the box, so I think that should be enough. But like I said, I won't ever cook another salmon stew without it. It made a big difference for me. This is one of my favorite stews now. I guess you could do chicken the same way. If you don't care for the salmon, you could just boil some chicken, bone and skin it, and put it in there just like I did the salmon meat, and do it the same way. This is episode number 9, and I'm going to be doing another cooking video this coming Saturday with my cousin Dean Canuck. Okay folks, this is the finished product of what we've been doing today. You see the pasta in it. It's real tender and it's full of chunky meat. Potatoes. It's kind of like between potato soup and salmon stew all together. So if you use this recipe, I know you'll enjoy it. Until next time, stay tuned until this coming Saturday. We'll be videoing another cooking show, how to make lemon pies with Eagle brand milk, and my guest for this one will be Dean Canuck, my cousin. So until then, enjoy.